Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is
Don't. He was
no.
about to
Oh,
stop. No, you're not allowed to.
hello and welcome back to the Peak Endurance podcast. I'd even forgotten what it was called.
And who are you?
Oh, that's right. I'm Ron, and with
Hey,
me is
Isabel Tate. Oh, you're so unprofessional, Ron.
we've been, rehearsing. People, we've been rehearsing this for the last 2 weeks.
That's right. Oh, as soon as he said welcome to the podcast, I was
I
just
was
like,
like,
I was just like, okay, let me watch this train wreck,
welcome
this
to the
car crash.
podcast Peak Endurance, I know he said. I'm like, no, that's not right. Stop, stop, stop. Oh, too
Look
late.
how red you've gone. You've
Oh,
gone all red. So yeah, everyone, you'll have to watch the YouTube video just to see how red. Oh, it's starting to dissipate. There we go. Oh, he's going red again.
you can almost see the steam coming out.
Oh, I can. That's hilarious. That's gold. So yes, there's been a 2 week break. We didn't warn you, but to be honest, Christmas, we were, to be fair, we didn't do a lot over Christmas, but it's a mentality as much as anything. And, really doing, doing a podcast on Christmas wasn't exactly high on our priorities. When you get kind of in holiday mode, not that I've stopped working per se, but everyone else is having a break and having a holiday, literally everybody else.
Yeah,
So yeah, we thought, well, we'll just
yeah,
take a week off. I'm sure people will survive, and I'm sure you all did.
that's right. And we may not have been busy doing Christmassy stuff, but we're always busy.
Oh, yeah.
Um, you know, I mean, we did because we normally record this on a Friday, which is what today is,
And it would have
and
been Boxing Day.
but we last Friday we were actually doing a long run.
That's right.
Or,
Because then, yeah, just because
yeah,
of other things that I had booked for Saturday, so we
yep,
couldn't do the long run Saturday, so
yeah.
we did it. Yes.
And when you say we did a long run, or when I say we did a
Oh,
long
yes, that's right.
run,
Well, you mean
in
me?
actual fact, it was you doing a long run. It was
Mm,
me starting a long run and then turning it into a long walk
yes.
because
Why?
I am injured.
Mm. And you weren't just physically injured, you were mentally injured
Yeah,
too, weren't you?
yeah. So
We've both had a bit of a tough time over Christmas, which is probably also why we didn't do a podcast because we weren't
yeah,
really in the right frame of mind. Christmas is a difficult time for both of
yep.
us, um, for a number of reasons. And yeah, it kind of hit us hard this
It
year.
it did, yeah. And then getting injured, like because normally, when you're out running, it's a good way to,
Well, remember,
just
running's not your therapy,
no, it's not, but
but by
it's
the same token, even the run before Christmas, where the hip flexor wasn't
yeah,
annoying you too much, you literally you were not
yeah,
right because of your um because you were not mentally feeling good.
yes, but also what I didn't have was the mental strength to push through
That's right.
when things were not feeling great.
Yeah.
I just didn't have it in me to push through.
No.
I got what I think I got about 8 or 9 Ks in, finished a big climb.
That was horrible. And you were dropping back. And I said to you, you're not right. I said, normally on this climb at the start, you're ahead of me because,
Yeah,
he still doesn't know how to pace 100% well. Um, so, you know, I could tell. Like
yeah,
Ron's normally at the start, he's up the hills in front of me until the end when I'm
yeah,
in the front.
yeah,
So for him
yeah.
to be behind already, and I can feel people's moods, and I could feel he was not in a good mood.
No. So
Yeah.
yeah, once we got to the top of the hill, we made the decision that you would continue on and I would
Because the
continue.
plan was 40K with
Yeah,
2,000 meters climbing.
yep,
So luckily I had brought my headphones because I had a feeling
yep,
this was going to happen.
yep. Because
And
because we already knew that my hip flexor wasn't feeling great.
it was
So there was
more for me that I knew you weren't
mm,
feeling mentally 100%. And I know what that's like. When you're not feeling mentally 100%, we discussed this on that other podcast.
yeah,
Doing 40Ks is bloody hard.
yeah.
It takes so much mental effort.
Hmm.
And when you don't have anything, then it's just shit and
Yeah,
horrible and it's misery. And A, you're not really training for anything specifically,
No.
and B, that's not good training
Yeah.
anyway. It's just reinforcing feeling shit when you run, like we've discussed on the podcast. And
Yeah.
so,
So ultimately, halfway up that climb, I was dragging my feet up, thinking, "What the fuck am I doing this for? I'm not training for anything. I don't need to be doing this."
no.
And all those
And as soon as you start thinking
negative
that,
thoughts. Yeah. So
which is why it's important to, or not important, but it's nice to have something to train for
yeah.
because it does give you sorry, a
Oh
focus. I
goodness
was
me.
really trying to hold that in. It just didn't work.
Geez, we are nailing the
Oh,
podcast
so
don'ts
professional.
today.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah, you're right. Um, I don't know, just talking about you being tired and depressed
yeah.
is making me a bit tired. Um, so yeah, so Ron pulled the pin. I kept going, like the little soldier I am.
Yeah.
I mean, you are training for something. You are doing the Buffalo Short Slam,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you can kind of power through that because Ron's going to do, because I'm doing the long slam. So we're going to do the 10K together and we'll just do that as a jiggity jog. Then you've got a 20K on your own, which
Yeah.
is, that's, you can push through
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Then the 42K, you'll be running. We say running in with hopeful terms with me after I've done the 100K the day before. So I don't think we'll be breaking any land speed
No.
records.
No.
So you'll be able to shuffle your way through that
Yeah.
next to me, shuffling even more.
That's
So
right, because we'll both be in get it done modes, but I'll
yeah,
get in it coming off a 20K where you'll be in it coming
yeah,
off a
but
100K.
20K, but then you're also going to be crewing me for the
Yeah.
100K. So it's not like you'll be tucked up in a nice warm bed while I'm doing the 100K,
No,
sleeping and resting and recovering.
no, but I'm sure I will be able to close my eyes, for a little bit while I'm waiting for you to come
Yeah, yeah,
into aid
potentially.
stations.
Yeah, yeah,
I
potentially. But
mean,
you know how well
I
that works.
I,
That doesn't.
I know I crewed you on the same 100
Mm.
2 years ago, 3 years ago. I forget now. But
Whenever I did that
yeah, and
challenge,
there was plenty of waiting around
was
because
there?
yeah, the aid stations are fairly easy to get to,
Uh-huh.
whereas you're running over hills and mountains to get to them.
Yeah,
So
yeah, true. I don't know
so
because I've never crewed for that,
yeah.
so I wouldn't have a clue. But you were talking about maybe sort of running beside me to the horn and back
Yeah,
just because you'll get bored
yeah.
otherwise. But let's just see how you go. So what's your injury? We didn't really
So
say. We
my
sort of said
yeah, my injury is a hip flexor issue. Now it's
ongoing.
been ongoing for a long time, but
Jeez.
generally the way it presents itself is that when I stop running, it starts to stiffen up and hurt.
Yeah.
So you know, an hour or so after I run, I'm bent over like an
That's
old
why he shuffles
man.
like a little Italian
Yeah.
nonna when he gets off the
Or
carriage.
or if I've been driving, like sitting driving for a while, when I get out of the car, I'm still in the sitting position. So it's been ongoing for quite a while, but suddenly it has started presenting mid-run.
And I think which has coincided with us doing heaps of vert.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm doing heaps of vert. That means Ron's doing heaps of vert.
Yeah.
And my body is very well conditioned for lots of vert over
Mm,
many, many, many years. And we were discussing it because, we were trying to work out why I can be so resilient to hills, but you can't. And,
yeah.
we went back to the fact that I was doing, backcountry mountains in primary school,
Yeah.
and there's a thing called muscular epigenetics where the muscle memory is in your body, whereas Ron was, not doing that sort of thing,
No.
definitely not in primary school. And once he was in high school, he was doing ice hockey, which is flat and speed based.
Yes.
So my body is a lot more robust for that sort of
Yeah.
thing, just naturally because of my muscular epigenetics,
Hmm.
right? Whereas Ron, not so much. And so when I start doing all these hilly runs,
Climbs.
euphemism for hiking, um, his body struggles.
Yeah. And I can just never get the strength benefits that you seem to get
Mm,
out of doing the hill repeats or mountain
yeah.
repeats.
He just, yeah, like even like when I was training for Barker last year and doing a shit ton of hill repeats, Ron would do one or two and then go off and run around on the
Yeah.
flat, right? So he just, you don't love it.
No, I
You
don't.
don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think when you don't enjoy it, sometimes you also feel aches and pains more.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying it's in your head, but it's,
You
it's,
focus in on them more.
yeah, you focus on what hurts more.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes I often say when you dislike something, that means you need to do something more, but it can also mean, certainly for you in this case, that it's something that your body is not good at.
Yeah.
But it's not good at it because of structural reasons rather than you need to get better at it. It's not good at it because it just doesn't suit your
Yeah.
body. And we're all different. That's why people gravitate to different sports and different, within ultras, like there's some people who just gravitate to ultras that are flat and they much prefer those and they hate the mountain ones. Whereas I'm opposite. Mind you, I used to be good at the flat ones when I first started because I'd come from marathons, but by the same token, I still preferred the hilly ones.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do. And there's often reasons why we choose things that we like. It's because our body's better at those things.
Yeah. So yeah, that's right. If it
And there's
doesn't
nothing
hurt
wrong
so
with
much,
it.
or it's something that you
Suits your
enjoy,
body's construction better.
it's much easier and more enjoyable to do.
Yeah. So yeah, his hip flex is gone.
Yeah, so I've
So
had a couple of days off this week, and any running that I have done has been
dead flat.
more of a shuffle on flat terrain. I
Mm.
feel like if I try and extend out my stride, it starts to grab a bit. So
Yeah, I
uh,
don't understand because you always talk about it grabs. I don't
yeah,
really
like a sharp pain,
yeah.
you know. So yeah, I'm just taking it super easy at the moment.
Yeah.
We've got a big weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm just resting up and trying to get it to
So the big
heal
weekend,
as much
seeing
as
as
I can.
Ron's obviously trying to keep it a secret, is
I'm
you
just
just didn't say it,
mentioning
but
that we had a big weekend.
is
I wasn't trying to be secretive. I was just mentioning that we've got a big weekend coming up.
big weekend. Is 2 days, and
Two days.
Ron marks the course on the Friday,
Yep.
and then on the Sunday we are going to be sweeping the course.
Yeah. So
So how many kilometers would you do when you're marking it?
generally do around or just over 20.
Okay, and
And
that's
that's
because it's an out and back
yeah.
course,
Yeah.
everyone. Because when we sweep it, we do 56 Ks.
Yeah. So the course itself is 28 Ks long, but we mark it, there's between three of us, and we eat like we do different sections
Yeah.
throughout. So there's some where we'll drop one another off and drive the car around to the other end and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So it turns out that around 20 Ks
Yeah.
all up.
Yeah. So that's not too terrible.
Yeah.
It's more the Sunday.
The Sunday.
And there's some hills in there. So that's what I'm worried about for you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do if it starts? I mean, I just don't know if you should do it, to be honest.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'll
You
see
can come
how
to the
far.
brewery with us
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah,
That's important training.
Yeah. Maybe I should just get in, spend the day training for that.
Yeah. Yes. Put in some serious bicep work there. Lifting
Yes.
up those pints.
Yes.
But you're not a millionaire, so you can't afford to do that because you live in Australia and alcohol is taxed to the bejesus, because
Because
God knows the government wants our money
and
off
we
of
can't be
everything.
trusted to make decisions for ourselves.
No, good Lord, no. They've got to take care of us by looking after our health and stopping us from drinking, which I don't think that's working, but they don't care because they get paid so much money it doesn't affect them.
No.
It only affects everyone else.
Yeah.
So what would they give a shit? They don't. All right, I keep forgetting it's not a political
It's not a
podcast
political podcast.
because I just get so cross with the way this. Anyway, so anyway, it's been Christmas, obviously, which was hard for us, and things have continued to be hard for me. I know for you too, but at the moment I'm going through a difficult stage. We've spoken about that, and we spoke about how I should go see someone, and I have organized now. I'm starting to see someone as of next week, so hopefully that helps. I mean, who knows? I don't know. New Year's Eve. Well, we went to the Moonlight Cinema.
Yes, we had two very late nights.
Oh my word! In a row,
which for us is just
unheard of. If we go to bed after 8:30, I melt.
So we had two nights later than midnight, which just about killed us.
So the first night was the night before New Year's Eve, and we went into the city, all the way into the shitty city, and we went to see the Moonlight Cinemas, and we saw Sing Sung Blue.
Yeah.
And this was something Ron got me for Christmas as a joint thing.
Yeah,
And you sit on these bean bags, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what they'll be like. That was super
they
comfortable.
were,
Of course, being us, we had the luck of us,
yeah.
and it fucking drizzled.
It drizzled almost the whole movie.
Luckily, I brought my big winter coat that I wore, like around Bark. The last time I wore it was at like Barkley marathons, and this was summer in Melbourne.
Summer in Melbourne, and yeah, it was cold and it drizzled the whole
And
time.
so I'm,
Yeah.
I'm like there, and we are getting wetter and wetter. I'm like, Ron, I don't know if I can handle this. So Ron ran back to the car and got the
The
picnic rug
picnic rug.
and put that over us. And because a picnic rug is designed to be put on damp ground, it
Yeah.
kept that. Then I was fine.
Then we
I
we
did
were
mind
quite
a little
warm.
bit, and it's
Yeah.
drizzled on and off, and it wasn't like terrible.
Yeah.
But the movie was so good. Like, I'm not good at sitting through movies. I did get a little wrigglicious there
Yeah.
for a while, as you noticed.
Yeah.
Um, and I was worried. I'm like, shit, am I going to have to get up and pace around the Moonlight Cinema and annoy the shit out of everybody? But I managed it, and then it just went away
Yeah.
because the movie was so good. I got really engrossed. It was really, really good. If you haven't seen it,
Hmm.
go and see it. It
Yeah.
is so
It
good.
was a really good story.
Really good. And, Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson in it were really, really good.
Yeah.
Great story and
Hmm.
just done so well.
Yeah.
And, we both went to bed that night, and all night long in our heads, we were dreaming Neil Diamond songs.
Neil Diamond was ringing around my head
Oh, God.
all night.
Yeah. So that was like 12:30 by the time
Yeah.
we got home and got tucked up into bed. And then the next day was New Year's Eve.
Yes, and we'd already pre-booked a night, which
Yeah.
is at one of our favorite wine bars.
Yeah, the Peacock Den,
The
which was
Peacock
actually
Den.
where we got married.
It is, yeah.
And so yeah, so the next, what did I do? I did that day, I got up,
Hill repeat.
yeah, the
Yeah.
6 kilo hill repeats up.
Mm.
Now I was feeling, I've actually done a reel about it, but don't think I've posted it yet. But hey, I just didn't feel in the mood. I was tired. It was a little bit depressing going off and leaving you at home while
Yeah.
I go off, and it's like, oh, I wish I was at home and I'm tired. And but anyway, I did really well. I did the best times I've had so far with the 6 kilo weight. And it was actually really good. So, don't always trust your mood.
Yeah.
Definitely don't trust motivation. Trust discipline.
Yeah.
That's all you can trust, and
Yep.
trust the habit. Like that's just what I do. Like I
Mm.
do it every week when you're at work,
Yeah.
so it's not, meaning by myself. So it's not like I'm not used to doing it by myself. I'm used to it. So anyway,
Yeah.
then
So
we came
you
home.
you got home from that, and you were actually quite up and
Yeah.
buzzed and happy
Yeah. I
because
was.
it
I was
went
feeling
well.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did some athlete calls, and then, I was like, oh, do we have time for a nap? Because I was knackered. So we lay down for a little bit, but the family next door were having a bit of a,
They were having their own New Year's Eve party, and it sounded like there was thousands of people there.
no, there wasn't.
But there wasn't, but because their backyard is right next to our window,
Yeah.
it
And
sounded
it's funny because this kid in that household, every fucking weekend morning at like 7 o'clock, 6:30 sometimes,
Yeah.
he's out there. I assume it's a he. I have no
Yeah.
clue. I
No.
just think of him as a he. He's
Yeah.
out there bouncing that basketball, shooting
Yes.
hoops. Luckily, we get up early. We're not
Yeah.
sleepyheads on the weekend. Otherwise, I think I'd probably have to have words with the neighbors. But I actually like it. I like the sound of a kid being outdoors and active. And I think what a great family that this kid is choosing to be
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
and playing rather than choosing to be on a screen.
Mm.
And that's one thing I noticed about this family is I often hear the sound of children's voices outside.
Yeah,
And I
they
think
do
that's
spend a
brilliant.
lot of time in the backyard.
Yeah, so I think that's brilliant, and
Yeah.
I'm here for it, even if it means it's the noise disturbs us. I don't care. I prefer to hear kids outside. I love the sound of kids having fun. It's great.
Hmm.
Anyway, so that was that. So we got up and then we left because our booking was at 7 o'clock. So yeah,
Yeah. So
And-
we went there and we had
delicious food. It's such
Yeah.
good food. And then some nice drinks. We had an espresso martini as soon as we got there because I said I need the fucking caffeine.
That's right. Yeah.
And then and then
Couple of bottles of wine and
yeah.
and then an Uber home finally,
Yes.
which was a little touch and go. We
Yeah,
weren't
because I pre-booked an Uber and but it didn't come. But then when you booked one, it just came straight away.
Yeah.
It was like, well, that
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
Pre-booking, yeah,
It's worse.
was worse because it just didn't even show up.
Yeah. Anyway, and then the next day we had a rest day because we knew we'd have been drinking, and not that we were drunk, but I still don't operate well when I've had a few drinks, especially not after 2 late nights in a row. And we needed a rest day.
Yeah, we did.
And yeah, I've been feeling a bit funny in the tummy though.
Yeah, you have.
You know,
Been
like
paying for it.
yeah, but even today, like a day later, on the run, it was terrible. I was freaking, you know, I had to keep going to the toilet. And even just before this podcast, I just did like a sicky burp. That's what I call them when you do a bit of a vomit. And I feel really acidic in the like something's not quite right with my stomach. And it's not just alcohol because anyway, I don't know.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how that manifests tomorrow on your
Yes,
run.
because I'm feeling queasy like you do in an ultra. And I said that to Ron, it's good training for
Yeah.
because tomorrow I'm doing 40Ks on my Pat Malone again.
Yep. Yeah.
Because Ron will just do a 10K flat run and I will go out and hit the hills for 40Ks.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, of course, 56Ks next week with 2 bays and then the 64K Bogong to Hotham. But of course, you've got to remember, everyone, the 56K sweeping, that's a lot of run walking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
we think of it as a social day.
Yes.
Right.
I don't consider it training.
Not only, you know, is it a reasonably sized group that we're sweeping with, but also because it's an out and back, we actually have a lot of
stuff to
interaction.
Oh, okay, with people. Yes. Yeah,
with the people,
with athletes
coming towards us. So.
And I like to try and read their names and cheer them with their names every single time, which ends up giving me a bit of a headache by the end trying to read. But it's always good fun. And then the sweeps, we're going out for a drink at the brewery afterwards. So yes, that's the catch up and what's happening next for us. So if you are at 2 bays, make sure you say hello. Yes,
particularly, you know, the 56ers. We probably won't see much of the 28th at all.
No.
But certainly if you're in the 56, have a look for us and say hello.
Yeah.
We love to speak to the listeners of the podcast.
Yes, we do indeed. And if you tell us your name, we will give you a shout out. Yes. All righty. So what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about the training specifically for a mountain ultra.
Now, this was your idea.
It was.
And you're good at coming up with the ideas, but then leaving me to write out the podcast description.
You are the expert.
I know.
The ideas person.
I know, and I'm like, but what do you want to say? Oh, well, running up hills. I mean, but how long can we talk about running up hills? Well, I know. So, okay, so muscular endurance is short sprints, you know. Anyway, there's a variety of different ways to train for hills. And actually, I forgot to put in like the 3-minute hill repeats. Anyway, that's by the by. So, okay. So the thing is, all right, for a mountain ultra, you need to train for hills specifically. Okay. Now I'm all for also training on the road, like, and on the flats. Like today we did a 10K on the flat, easy, from toilet to toilet. But you know, flat, and I'm training for mountain races, and tomorrow I'll be out in the hills, right? And the other days I've been out in the hills. So yes, you need to run the hills, but you also do need to run the flats just to keep some leg speeds. I just wanted to put that caveat in there, that just because if you're training for a mountain ultra doesn't mean you only train in the mountains. Okay.
Yep.
Right. But you need to train for the hills. You can't run the flats and expect to be able to climb hills. Like the best training for hills is hills. And if your quads don't, if your lungs, if your quads don't fail before your lungs in a mountain ultra, you're trained wrong.
Yep.
Okay. So does that sentence make sense? I feel like it doesn't make sense.
Well,
if your quads don't fail before your lungs. So your quads should outlast your lungs, is what I'm trying to say. Like your fitness, right? You should be so strong in the legs. Okay. A lot of people underestimate how hard mountains are on your legs, and it's not just the uphill, it's a downhill. That's why those people who do a lot of work on the Stairmaster are not necessarily prepared.
Yes, because the Stairmaster doesn't go downhill.
Exactly. Rightio. So what actually breaks people in mountain ultras, Ron?
So it's not the fitness that fails first.
Yeah.
Generally, ultras in general, but specifically mountain ultras, it's more about strength. Certainly, you need fitness because you'll be at it, or stamina because
Yes.
you'll be at it for, many hours. But strength plays more of a role in weather and how you finish.
Yes. Yep. Yep. And people can feel aerobically fit and feel fine and they're not huffing and puffing, but their legs are screwed,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So doing heaps of sprints and running all your runs, your easy runs at 4:30 pace is not going to get you ready for mountain ultra,
No.
right? Yes, you need to be fit 100%, like you said. You need to be fit and have stamina, which is endurance, but you need to be strong.
Yep.
Okay.
Also, there's hills and there's hills.
Yeah.
It's having you know, if you're not, if you don't live near the mountains, but you've got a hilly street or, some kind of hilly area that you run in, that's great and it will help with leg strength. But getting to the hills and
Mm,
training in a rocky, technical,
yes.
hilly
Because
terrain
hilly
is
terrain
very
tends to be
important as well.
technical. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're not ready for the technical aspect, that can,
yeah,
you know, set you back a bit too, because that's not only tiring on the body, it's tiring on the mind. And if you're not used to that
mm,
constant focus that you need, that can leave you exhausted too. So you need a really strong mind.
hmm,
So the non-negotiable quality that we need to talk about is muscular endurance, right? So there is a difference between muscular endurance and aerobic endurance. Aerobic endurance is that stamina and fitness you were
hmm,
talking about.
yeah,
They are different, they're trained differently, and they fail at different times in a mountain ultra.
hmm.
And you can actually have one without the other. Plenty of people are aerobically fit, but they don't have the muscular strength and endurance for mountain ultras. All right.
And we've seen that a lot in the Golden Trail series that we watch,
Yes.
where the Kenyans
Are very
have
fit.
come into it and didn't necessarily. I mean, they did do well because they're
Kenyan.
naturally fit.
Yeah.
But when it got into rocky, hilly terrain, it took them quite a while, and they are improving, but it took them quite a while to
Couple of years.
actually,
Yeah.
find success there because being fit just isn't enough.
No, that's right.
When the athletes are storming past them going down the hill, their fitness didn't really play a part.
No, it didn't matter how fit you were.
Yeah,
If you're tiptoeing through the tulips when
yeah,
the other people are smashing down,
yeah,
you're not going to do as well as you want.
that's right.
And it's also that ability to push hard up a hill hiking and then be able to run. Whereas the Kenyans, when they first started, they were more about running everything and they would try
Mm,
to run all the hills. And then, of course, they're maxed out by the
yeah,
time they get to the top of the hill.
yeah,
So, yeah, good point
yeah.
about that. That's a really good point there. And so, aerobic endurance obviously is your ability to deliver oxygen to working muscles, sustain a steady output over time. This is the stamina we're talking about. I like that. It's an old word, more from like the 70s, but I think it really explains that the kind of fitness we need. And it means you can generally keep your heart rate under control for long times. It's cardiovascular. It's your
Mm,
cardiovascular fitness. And this is what runners train. That's what they train all the time, right? So you can run for hours at a steady effort. That's kind of your tempo runs, and you feel fit,
mm,
basically.
yeah.
All right. So, but it can fail when you feel gassed in a
Hmm.
race. If you've pushed too hard.
If
But
you've tried to run up that hill that you
yeah,
probably should have been
yeah,
walking.
that's right. But in general, this is not the part where mountain ultras take out athletes. It's not, they weren't fit enough for the course. It's generally not that they weren't fit enough,
Yeah.
right? So basically, aerobic fitness is the easy runs. That's building your mitochondria. It's the long, steady runs,
Mm,
which not necessarily, obviously the long runs that aren't including hills.
yeah.
Obviously, you do work that when you do hills, but we're talking about people who aren't training specifically for hills.
Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
All righty. So, yep.
Yep.
Tempo work really works it. Yep. So muscular endurance, what's that on?
Muscular endurance is your ability to repeatedly contract muscles under load.
Yep.
It also means you can tolerate long periods of tension and resist local muscle fatigue.
So this is what I'm doing when I'm doing my runs up Bellevue, which is 3.3 Ks with around 350 meters of climbing with a weight on my back. That is repeatedly contracting my muscles under load, long period of tension, and I'm really fatiguing my muscles, so I'm trying to resist that fatigue. Like I'm working through that fatigue, and I'm working my quads, my calves, my glutes, my feet, my mind, everything.
And that's for 45 minutes, roughly?
35.
Oh,
Thank you
35?
very
Oh,
fucking
sorry.
much.
Um, so yeah, 35 minutes at a time.
Yes.
So that's prolonged,
Yeah.
in terms of hills, that's prolonged
Yeah.
work.
Oh, yeah, that's prolonged work.
Yeah.
And then even though, like on Thursday when I went out and did that, I had my 6 kilos, and it takes a long time. Like the last time I did it, I dumped a fair bit of water, and it takes a long time to refill it at the tap. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
So this time I only dumped 1.5 kilos, 1.5 liters. So I ran back down with 4.5 kilos on my back, and it wasn't actually. I'm noticing I'm getting better even
Uh-huh.
at running down the hill with more weight on my back,
Yep.
and I felt like my knees were fine, everything was fine. Like the
Because that's
first time I did it with like 2.5, I was like, ooh, oh,
Yeah, that's the fear, isn't it? That
mm,
it's, running down the hill
but
with a
it's
lot
gonna
of weight, it's
yeah,
going to hurt your knees.
yeah. But no, everything was fine, which tells me no, I'm also developing that strength. And
Mhm.
this is the thing. I could have got on a treadmill and done that 35 minutes with a, weight vest on, but I wouldn't have got the benefit of that downhill.
Mhm. Mm.
And I get it. Not everybody is lucky enough like me to live at a hill like that. And I get that. So what you do then is, yes, you do the best you can. And going on a treadmill is better than nothing.
Mhm.
But if you can do it on a hill, I'd still know people in this area who would choose to do a treadmill rather than do it on the hill. Like just
Yeah,
do it on the freaking hill.
yeah. So
Um,
when we talk about, you know, what you're working, you're actually when you're running the hills, you're working on your legs basically. It's quite specific.
yeah, because I'm fit. Like I'm not
Yeah,
huffing and puffing when I'm doing that. Although to be fair,
it
once
is.
I get to the top, I am because the um last kilometer and a half is flatter. Um, and so I do run more, and that part
Yeah.
is working on the fitness as well as
Yeah.
my legs. But the first section, that's
Mm.
the first 2 Ks is all legs.
Yeah. And you're quite specifically working on your quads, your calves, your glutes,
Yeah,
and your feet.
yeah, yeah.
So, it's very specific training.
Oh, let me tell you, my calves are talking to me.
Yeah, they were this morning, weren't they? Or one of them was the problem
Oh,
child.
yeah, yeah, the problem child, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about up the hills, I
Mm.
can feel them too.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's also good for my back strength and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff,
Mm. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, so how does it feel when you've got muscular endurance? What does that feel like?
Well, you can climb without your legs seizing,
Mm-hmm.
and the descents don't wreck you.
Like I'm ready for descents now.
Yep. And you can keep moving when tired. So on that, you know, the fifth climb of, the ultra, when you're really cooked and
Questioning your life
but
choices.
yeah, um, although it's painful and quite terrible, you can still get to the top of that hill.
And that's the thing. Doing all this training doesn't suddenly make you skip up the hills and go, wow, that felt so easy. The better you get at them, the harder you push. So
Yeah.
it's always going to feel hard. Do
Yep.
not expect doing hill work to suddenly make it feel easy. If it feels easy, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. So for me, it's always feeling hard when I'm doing these
Hmm.
runs. And I'm not expecting to go to the race and go, wow, that felt easy. I'm just hoping then that that means I can push a bit faster
Hmm.
up the hills.
Yep.
So if you're not ready for mountain, if you're not ready with that muscular endurance, your quads lock up, your calves burn, believe you me. Every step hurts, especially on the downhills, because that's where you really trash
Yeah.
your quads. If you're
Yeah.
not ready, and people who are really aerobically fit, they get to the downhills and they're like, woo, and they run really fast because they're fit and they just want to use all that fitness. and then they have
And they feel,
crashed their
yeah,
course.
they feel like it's a time to catch up on the speed
Yeah,
that they lost going up the
yeah,
hill.
that's right. And they want to catch up,
Yeah,
so they smash it on the downhills, and then they're death marching it
yeah.
in.
And you regularly talk about this when we're watching YouTube videos and whatnot. When people start to cramp,
Mm.
and their first thought, because they've been trained to think that, is, oh, I must be getting dehydrated.
Yes, I better, no, well, I mustn't,
Or
I need
lack of salts.
electrolytes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let
electrolytes,
me
lack of
smash
salts.
that salt.
Yeah. And what do you say about that? They're getting that
They're cashing checks, their body count.
well, it's not a lack of salt,
Oh,
it's a lack of training.
yes, it is.
You
Absolutely.
say that
Do I?
regularly. Yes, you
I
do.
mean, I know that's what I'm,
Yeah,
something along those lines.
yeah.
But yeah, it's not lack of salt. Absolutely not. I mean, there's a potential for that, if it's hot weather and maybe, but in general, most of the time it shows inadequate training.
Hmm.
Like it just does. I'm sorry. Hate to break the news to you, but I'm sure you've heard me say it before. And I'm sorry if it sounds harsh, but basically you've trained wrong.
Mm.
Okay. And you haven't pushed yourself on those climbs enough in training.
Yep.
Um, and what it also means is it can happen in flat ultras. It just means you're running faster than you should.
Yeah,
You're feeling fresh from tapering, and so you go and run too fast or typical thing you create. We're going to talk about this in the next podcast. Is
okay.
remember we spoke about
Yes,
this
yeah,
expectations for runs.
yeah,
How to have
yeah,
appropriate
yeah,
expectations,
yeah, yeah.
right? But basically, it comes from inappropriate expectations of what you are capable of. That's
Hmm.
what it comes from.
Yep,
And that's where a coach can help you, because a coach can help you temper um, inappropriate expectations,
that's right. And explain the facts of life to you about, you know,
pacing and what
yes,
you're actually capable of.
yeah,
And that maybe you're not going to win the race.
yeah.
Maybe, wait until you've, I don't know. I don't know. Just
Yeah,
some people, it's not that they think they're going to win the race, but they actually plan as if that's what they're going to be doing,
yeah,
as if that's what they're planning for, when in reality they should just, especially if it's, a really tough race, just
yeah,
plan to get to the finish line in feeling good.
yeah.
That's the plan.
And that, we once again we watched a YouTube video about this just
Mm.
last night, where initially the
Oh, yes,
guy was planning on running 200 kilometers in
in
24
24
hours.
hours.
And very quickly into it, we were doing the maths going, I don't think he's going fast enough
Yeah. Well,
to
firstly,
do
he
that.
he went off quite fast, but
Yeah,
then he kept stopping and sitting
yeah.
and eating for like ages and eating fucking salad. Like, what the fuck? Who eats a salad?
And then halfway through, he hadn't quite got to 100 Ks in 12 hours.
No,
I think
he
he got
got his
there in
13 and a
yeah,
half.
13 and a half. And so we were like, yeah, no, he's definitely not doing 200. And then he said, okay, I'm aiming for 160 or
Yeah,
100
the mile.
miles.
Yeah.
And even then,
He didn't
he
make
didn't
that.
even make that. It's
Yeah.
like, talk about unreal
Yeah,
expectations.
yeah, totally unrealistic.
And
Like,
that
it's
was,
just because you want to do it doesn't mean you actually
that's right.
can.
And the fact that I think he said his longest run was like 107 kilometers
Before that.
before that.
Yeah. But
So,
that wasn't part of his training. That was the previous longest run
yeah,
he'd ever done. That
yeah,
wasn't training.
no.
Mm.
So, um,
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but yes, it would be good before a 200K to at least have done a miler and know what
yeah,
it feels like, because he was quite surprised with how shit he felt.
yes, that's
And
right.
he was surprised how much it hurt and how tired he was. Like, he was really
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah,
And we've watched another YouTube video of these two guys doing UTK, a miler, and they had DNF'd the first two times and they got through it the third time. But, they kept talking about how hard they'd trained for each of the three attempts. And it's like, but clearly not.
no, because they were struggling
They
from early.
struggled. And on their third attempt, and they were still struggling they pretty much walked most of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And it's like, what training did you do that was so much and so hard and so specific that you can't even
yeah,
run at all, pretty much?
yeah,
So, it just is interesting.
mm,
So
yeah,
you need to do specific training for what you're training for,
that's right.
and you need to have realistic expectations.
Yeah,
Alrighty. So muscular endurance is not trained by running more easy miles. It's hard work. Like, I've been doing these weighted runs. They're hard work, time consuming, let me assure you,
yeah,
and bloody hard work, right? So don't expect it to be easy. So it's long uphill efforts, weighted uphill work, steep hiking, strength training, downhill exposure. Like each time I do those climbs, I have to run back down.
Hmm.
The training comes with the terrain.
That's right.
So, you know,
And you're doing, not only your long runs on hilly terrain, but you're doing several short runs.
yeah, my midweek.
Yeah,
Mid,
short. Well, when I say short, shorter runs
yeah,
with still a lot of climbing.
yeah. So my 20K midweek run is with 1,000 meters climbing, and then
And
I do
our
double that on the weekend.
and our Sunday
Yeah.
recovery run has also been.
Well, we've only just started doing that. I just started doing that on the weekend, just gone. So I did 40Ks with 2,000 meters by myself. Then the next day I did 20K with 1,000 meters by myself. So yes.
Yeah,
So yeah. So like this week, I've already done over 2,000 meters climbing.
yeah, that's before your long run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's before my long run. I think I've done about 2,500 meters climbing. Alrighty,
Yeah.
so aerobic endurance basically is how long you can keep the engine running. Muscular endurance is doing it with the wheels staying attached. All right.
Yeah,
And that's what you want.
yeah,
All right, so we can keep going. A lot of that is,
yeah.
blah blah. Okay, so keep going. Alrighty.
So
Yeah, but no, you need to do the aerobic endurance work.
yeah,
Yes, I've already said that, but that's when we put those things on that I just said, the
yep,
hill work and the hiking practice. So let's keep going down. Like I said, I put a lot of waffle in there. All right. So muscular endurance hill sessions.
yep. Um, you need to basically replicate what you're doing or going to be doing in the race as
Although
much.
my race, I'm not doing what I'm doing that. In general, yes, but for these sessions, no.
Okay.
Okay. So in general, when you're training for a mountain ultra, yes. And that's what my long runs are for. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing,
Well,
because
that's
I'm,
what I'm talking about in
yeah,
the
yeah,
long
but
run.
I'm talking at the moment. If you look
Mm.
at the notes, it says muscular endurance hill sessions. Okay. This is why you should be more involved in the process.
Why can't I just turn up on the day?
Oh, no. Right. So we will get to specificity on the long runs. For now, what you need to do is running or power hiking uphill with 5 to 10% body weight, which is what I do in that 3.3 kilometer climb. I am doing a mixture of running and hiking, especially now with the 6 kilo weight. I do a bit more hiking on the steep bits. It's 10% of my body weight, approximately. I don't know. Don't weigh myself. It's not a VO2 session, okay, but it's still a session. It's still considered a quality, like that is my quality session. I'm not doing quality sessions as well as that, okay? And it's not about speed, it's about time under tension. You run when it's runnable and you hike when it's steep, basically. Okay. And that's actually really good training, the transition between running and hiking. Like I often give my athletes sessions where it's 1 minute run hard, 1 minute hike hard, and like 20 of those uphill. So run hard, like not sprinting, obviously, comfortably hard, then hike really hard. And you're really training that transition, because otherwise, if you get to an ultra and you haven't trained the transition between running and hiking, you will end up hiking super slow.
Yeah.
It's actually hard. It feels weird, the transition. So you've got to train that.
Yep.
All right. You also need to do, when you're training for an ultra, mountain ultra, you need to do steep hiking sessions.
Yep. Ultimately, that's what you're going to be doing during the race, so you need to train it.
Yeah.
It'd be great if you're always running on those things, but
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was listening to a podcast about Jim Walmsley at UTMB, and how when he first went there, he was like, I'm just going to run it. And he tried to run all the hills and he failed miserably and didn't do well, miserably for Jim Walmsley,
Yeah.
brilliantly if it was the rest of us.
Yeah.
And he didn't do so well. Whereas all the Euros, they were hiking all the hills. When he won it was when he hiked the hills, not when he ran them,
Yeah.
right? When he tried to run them, that killed him
Yeah.
in the race. And so if it's good enough for Jim Walmsley to hike the hills, I think it's good enough for the rest of us.
Yes, that's right.
Hill hiking is not giving up. It's being strategic. It's being smart. Right. So you do, if you can't include it as part of your long run, and even then I get some of my athletes to do long hilly runs, and then I'll get them to do a second session of just finding a hill for an hour and a half and doing hill repeats. And if you don't have hills, stairs. and stairs could be in a building. It doesn't have to be outdoors.
Yeah. Parking garage.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
So those
like
hills
a
are better than that.
multi-story
Yeah, that's
parking
the thing.
garage.
Yep.
Yep.
And if you
Yep.
don't train hiking, you'll end up not walking fast enough
Mm.
when you're meant to be hiking. When you're hiking is not a break. It's not a break, and that's what people think, that it's a break. Oh no, it's still bloody
Yeah.
hard work. It's a break for the running muscles, but it's not a break.
Yeah. And we talk about hiking with purpose.
Yes.
It's not a stroll. It's
No.
not a time to catch your breath. You're hiking with purpose. It's a race. You're in a race.
Yeah.
You need to push.
And so let's talk now more specifically about training specific for the race. We'll talk about that now.
Okay.
I haven't put that there.
Yeah.
We'll get to the next one soon.
Yep.
So like when I'm going, because I'm training for Buffalo Stampede, which is around 5,500 meters over 100 Ks, which means for 50 Ks, that would be just over 2,000 meters. So I'm doing 40K with 2,000 meters because I want to do a little bit extra. And like doing that means that I'm going to be ready for 5,500
Yep.
meters, right?
Yep. So you're not doing 40 Ks with 1,000 meters of climbing, and you're not doing 40 Ks with 3,000 meters
No.
of climbing.
Because I don't need to
Because you
do
don't need to.
3,000 and 1,000's not enough. And I figured 2,000 is a nice round number. I could
Yeah.
probably figure it out if it's 1,750 or something, whatever. 2,000's easier for my brain,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, so I'm trying. And at first, when I was getting used to doing the hills again, I was going more sort of fire trails. But now I'm getting more like when I did it the other day, more single track, more technical stuff because Buffalo is technical. So this Saturday, tomorrow, when I go out for my 40K, I'm going to be doing more single track up and down because
Yeah.
that's more specific to Buffalo.
Yeah. Yep. And once again, it's very important to train the downhill on
Oh yeah.
technical stuff because running downhill on a fire trail as opposed to running downhill on a single
rocky
track, two very different entities. So it is
because once again, running downhill on fire trail, that's if you're fit, easy peasy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm fit, like I'm not doing 40K, so I'm not, but
yeah,
it doesn't matter how fit I am. If I can't run down a technical hill, I can't,
you're not going to do well.
I'm not going to do well.
You're not going to reach your goals.
Yeah, that's right. So I need to be able to do technical terrain.
Yep.
As much as I've gotten a bit soft lately and I'm not as good at it because of my knee problems I've had. I've kind of avoided them a bit, but my knees are a lot better.
Absolutely.
So, they're a lot better. So I'm doing more.
Yep.
To try to get better because I have lost that skill a bit. So your long runs, you should try to mimic the course as much as possible. Obviously, you can't possibly do it completely because you don't live in the same terrain, right? Unless you do have the course nearby. Like I've got an athlete, she's doing the 56K at 2 bays. She lives near the course. She's been training her long runs on the course, which is great. But not all of us have that sort of ability. We're not going out to Bright every weekend just so I can train on the course. And, if you got into UTMB, you cannot train on the course and nothing in Australia is the same.
No.
Because there is no way in Australia you'll find a hill where you can climb for 2 hours and then descend for 2 hours, right? It's just impossible.
Yeah.
So you just do what you can. But you try as much as possible to mimic the course.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I also do a lot of short hill sprints. If you follow me on Strava, you will see I've been doing a lot of them. Yes. Why do I do these?
You do those to strengthen your tendon stiffness because you don't strengthen a tendon.
Yes. To increase tendon stiffness and resilience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Injury prevention when fatigue sets in late in
That's right, because my tendons are strong.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the neuromuscular strength as well, which is also the push-off strength.
I'll let you say that because...
Is that what your problem was? I wondered why you skipped that. I was waiting.
Yeah, I was a bit intimidated by that.
I mean, you even skipped resilience.
Yes. Big words frighten me.
Yeah, clearly. So neuromuscular strength is that firing, and it's like the fast twitch part of it. And it really also helps with really strong push off. And when I'm doing them, I mean, it must be funny for people who live on the street because I'm yelling at myself, can I say? I'm like, push, push, with each footstep. So I'm reminding myself, push off, then I'm like, go, strong, strong. And I say it out loud because fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I've got the headphones on with music playing, so I've got to say it loud enough for me to hear. And it's early morning, so everyone's probably in bed going, "Oh, that girl, shut up."
There's that crazy swearing woman again.
It's doing skipping up the hill. Because then I'll go power, push, strong as I'm doing it, right? To remind myself of, because otherwise you just end up running, blah, blah, blah. But, I'm trying to really focus on that push off, the toe off, and the acceleration with it. Especially for me, because of the nerve injury I've had. That's why I've really got to work on that, because that foot just slaps around like a bloody wet fish and it doesn't know what to do. So basically I do 15-second hill sprints with a 2 to 3 minute recovery. I jog down for about a minute, minute and a half. I jog back down the hill, go down a bit further, turn around, come back, and then I stand there. And that's when the neighbors often come out and go, "You all right? Or what do you want?" And I'm just like, "Oh, it's all right. I think I'm weird." But whatever.
Yeah.
So I stand there, I sing a song to myself, I just, look at the trees and, so I'm there for, I rest for a good 3 minutes and then I go again. And it's hard work. And I need that 3 minutes recovery, And I find if sometimes if I do that session before work and I jib myself on the recovery because I'm running late, which I'm always running late, I don't go as fast up the hill.
Yeah.
I just can't because I have the neuromuscular, that strength requires full recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And it requires specific work like that. And a lot of people go, "Oh, who needs 3 minutes recovery? I only did 15 seconds of work." You need 3 minutes of recovery for that 15 seconds of work.
Yep.
If you don't need that 3 minutes of recovery, you're doing it wrong. You're not doing it correctly.
Yep.
You're not accessing the neuromuscular pathways.
Mm-hmm.
You're just working on fitness again, right? So, yeah. So
that's one style that steep, because that's a steep hill,
yeah,
15 seconds at a time.
but that's something different. That's strengthening my tendons. That's working on that push off. Then I also do 3 minute hills, which is fitness, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is more VO2 work. You should be doing that around like those 15-second hill sprints. I'm doing them at 100%, right? I'm going as hard as I can. The 3 minute ones, that's 80 to 90%, right? So we're working on our cardiovascular fitness then. So that's two completely different workouts. And I still have 3 minute recovery, probably maybe 2 to 3 minutes recovery, because you got to jog back down. And when I say jog, I mean jog. You've got to take it easy. You've got to let the heart rate come back down. I'm not big on, running to heart rate, but I always, when I'm doing intervals, I always make sure that the heart rate comes back down because then I'm ready for the next interval. So that's where you need to watch that. And now that Ron got me my new U-Butte heart rate monitor, Chorus one, I can have accurate heart rate because the wrist base is not accurate.
Yep.
Right. So I was doing them up by myself once again.
That one we actually started together and we did the warm up
and you went, "Nah." And the warm ups on rolling hills, and I was like, "No."
I could feel every hill that we hit, I could feel, something grabbing and
not only on the uphills, on the downhill.
From what we've discussed it, and we think that what happens is the damage is done on the uphills, but the running the downhills is where it seems to hurt.
Yeah.
Because of the overstriding,
fatigue, and like when you do these hill reps, even though I turn around and jog back down, because I'm jogging slower than I'm running up it, you end up further up the hill, so you end up with like a 2 to 3K downhill run, and that would have killed you, right?
That's right.
I mean, it's not particularly steep. It averages around, and I looked on Strava because I wanted to know, about 7%. We decided, didn't we?
Yep.
So it's an average of 7% for the climb, right? Whereas like the hiking one, the pack one I do when the run hiking section is probably more like 20%, and then it evens out to about probably 10% in some bits. There's even a slight downhill bit at one point. But it is much steeper. This other road is way more gradual, around 7%. I mean, there's a couple of little steeper sections, but yeah. So So that's the 3-minute hill
Yeah.
repeats.
Hmm.
Okay. And once again, I've done some videos on them. I think they're coming out next week. I record them and then I schedule them. So I never
Yeah.
know when they're actually coming out.
Forget.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did about 5 of videos doing that one. Um, so that's the 3-minute hill repeats, and they're really good. Like they really help with building fitness, but fitness for uphill.
Hmm.
Once again, people get that confused and think they need to do it on a steep hill. That actually, once again, changes the workout. That's incorrect. Not on a steep hill. It should be between 5 and 10%. Even 10% is probably too steep. So around 7%, 7 to 8 is probably the best because it needs to be runnable where you can run still at a good clip.
Yeah.
But anything less than 5% is too flat.
Yeah.
Right. So people want to make it a steep hill to prove how hardcore they are. This is not about being hardcore. It's about doing the correct training.
Yeah.
That's the focus. Like
Yeah.
seriously, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to train correctly so you're ready for your race.
As you always say, you don't win training.
No, no.
There's no points for winning
There's
training.
no points for winning training. Like seriously,
Yeah.
that is the shittest thing to win.
Yeah.
Like it's really shit.
Yeah.
Like so much unrealized potential is left out there on the training fields
Mm.
because honestly, too many egos are competing.
Mm.
Like just like
Yep.
I've always been like that. Like I just let you go win training. I'll beat you in the race.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I focus on.
Yep.
Alrighty, strength
Yeah.
training.
So
Your favorite topic, Ron?
running and hiking the hills is great.
Yeah.
But you need more.
Because you do need to strengthen your tendons and ligaments, and also you just need to strengthen your muscles. And not only that, but you need to strengthen your upper body, and you can't do that running.
Yeah.
And like we hadn't been using poles much at all. And we went out the other week with Nikki doing 2,000 meters over 40 Ks, and we used poles, and we were like, shit, our arms are sore now.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least I was.
Yeah.
My arms, I was like, whoa, I'm not used to it. So I'm back to using poles on the long run.
Yep.
I'm going to keep, I know I used the poles on the midweek medium run this week, but I was feeling, I was not in a good headspace, so I needed all the help I could get,
Yeah.
right? So, but in general, my Wednesday 20 Ks with 1,000 meters, I won't be using poles, but with the long runs, I will now, because we'd even been doing them without poles. So yeah, you really do. You do need to do upper body work to get ready for the poles, right? But you know, you can also you need to still do leg work. So split squats, Bulgarian split squats, step ups, holding weights. Also step downs is good for downhill training.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're holding your weights and you step down off the step. All right. Deadlifts or any kind of hinge work where you're working your hamstrings and glutes, calf raises, core work. We used to go every Sunday and do core work. I now do Pilates because I know I just got bored of the gym doing core work. It's kind of boring, isn't it?
It is. It's all, lots of balance and, know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And we do a lot of, good stuff in Pilates, but and once again, we've got to remember we're not going to the gym to be bodybuilders, and we're not going to the gym to be for aesthetics so that we look, hot. We're going there so you can keep moving at 12 hours with a decent, posture.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we're doing. Yeah. So strength work is not about, once again, about ego. And that's, people get not confused. They get sidetracked by wanting to look, good in a singlet top.
They get sidetracked by all those mirrors that are around the walls. And
use the mirrors. Honestly, there are other people who are like, oh, I'm too embarrassed. I don't want to be seen looking at myself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. You need to. That's not about vanity. That's about making sure that you are using correct technique. Okay. So, when you're doing your split squats, that your hips aren't dropping to one side and that sort of stuff. You don't have to, do any of this ass to grass, or even with the split squats, getting your knee right down to the ground. Do what you can with the body that you have, because all our bodies are slightly constructed a little bit differently. And also, if you've, like me, and you've had knee problems, and Ron, you can't necessarily get that back knee down to the ground.
No, the thought of not only getting down there, but then getting back up again is horrifying.
Yeah, well, so, do what your knees can handle, but make sure that whatever you're doing, even if it's not the full, full depth squat, that it's still with correct technique. Don't be lazy and use sloppy technique. Use good technique. We don't need to do the full bodybuilding, knee snapping squats, but we need to still use correct technique.
Mhm.
All right. So what happens if we don't have
Hills.
hills to
Yes.
train on? If
Yeah.
people aren't as lucky as us, I mean,
Yeah.
and truly, as much as I whinge and sook about how bored I am of the Dandenongs, I know how lucky I am
Yeah.
to be able to just run to the hills from home. Like tomorrow for my 40K run, I'm going to run. By the time I got to the start of the trails, I'd already done 170 meters climbing just getting to the
Yeah.
trails from running from home.
Yeah.
So I know how lucky I am.
Mhm.
Right, but what can we do?
So, treadmill incline work. If
Yeah.
you're a member of a gym or, that has good treadmills, generally the good treadmills are the ones that have higher incline.
Yeah. When I was in Canada, the ones at the gym there went super high. I've never seen them here in Australia at a gym, but super high. I didn't use it, but I put it up just
You
to
could
look at
have,
it. Yeah. I
if
was
you
like,
really wanted to.
ooh, yeah, not doing that. I'd fall off the back. It was that high.
Yeah.
Stairmasters
Yeah.
are great. Stairmasters with a vest and not holding on.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think doing hill work is better. If like some people choose to do Stairmaster even when they've got hills. I think you're better off doing hills because you get the downhill.
Yeah.
All right. So if you've got a choice between the Stairmaster and the hills, use the
If
hills.
you can only do one,
But
do
if
the
you don't
hills.
have hills, then the
Yeah.
Stairmaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned earlier, parking garages.
Yeah,
Good
and
ramps.
good ramps to run up, and there's the stairs as well. But that's ramps, and you're learning. It's like running at altitude because you can't breathe because
Yeah.
of the fumes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
If you've got a short hill, do repeats.
yeah, you maybe just have to do repeats. Like
Yeah.
when I was training for CCC many moons ago, I just did hill repeats because even though and it still didn't get me fully ready, but it got me as ready as I could. Like we don't have the long hills, but you do the best you can.
Yeah.
Weighted step
Yeah.
ups,
Yeah.
and if you don't have weights, bloody 2 dog food cans or something, or the
Yeah.
toddler on your shoulders,
Yeah.
something, holding the dog. I don't know.
Yep. The weight, like chucking a backpack on with lots of weight in it.
Yeah, like flour or
Yeah.
that big bag of rice we've
Yeah.
got,
Yeah.
put that in your backpack. You don't have to have fancy equipment. You
No.
don't have to have expensive equipment.
Yep.
One of those bags of rice, one in each hand, that'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right. How to layer this without overcooking yourself.
Because this is what happens. People hear this and they go, "Oh, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do all of it next week."
I'm gonna go out. I'm not gonna do 2 reps. I'm gonna do 10.
And I'm going to do short hill sprints, 3-minute hills. I mean, to be fair, I did all of that this week.
Yeah, but you've built up to it.
Yes, I have. I have.
And that's the key.
That's the key.
Yeah, you don't just one week decide you're gonna go out and do it and then do it all.
Yeah.
So you really should have one key muscular endurance session at a time.
Yeah.
So, like you were saying earlier, you've got Mondays is a rest day. Tuesdays you've been doing
Well, I've been doing more of the 100-meter strides, a bit of a tempo, and then short hill sprints.
Yep.
Just this week, I went back to doing the 3-minute hill repeats.
And then on Wednesday is your medium
long run, of 20 Ks.
Yep. Thursdays are your weighted hills.
Yep, which ends up being about 17 Ks. Now, all of this sounds like a lot of Ks for most people, and it is. So don't just think you've got to jump into these Ks.
Yeah.
I've been doing this once again, 20 years. I have 20 years of running in my legs. I can do this. Not everybody can.
That's right.
Then Friday is, 10 Ks flat, easy.
Flat, easy run.
Yep.
Saturday is the big
long run.
That's when you practice.
And then Saturday is the, not a recovery run. Sunday is not a recovery run.
We call it a recovery, but it's not really.
No, it's not a recovery run.
It's just less than a long run.
It's sort of a back-to-back run.
Yeah.
I mean, for what we've only just started them. Before then, because I wasn't ready for it until last weekend. Before that, we've been doing 10 Ks, right? I've only upped it to 20 just this week gone, right? Yeah.
Yep. The week before, I think we did
10 Ks.
13.
11, I think it was in the hills. Oh, 12. Yeah, maybe 12.
About 12 we weren't sure what we were going to do, and it just happened to be 12 by the time we got back to
the week before that, it was 10 Ks. Yeah. So we even built up to the 12, 13. So yes.
Yep.
All right.
Very important to get a balanced week.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are some, well, how do you want to close this off?
Well, um, mountain ultras are a lot about patience.
Yep.
You're not going to win it in the first 10 Ks,
God, no.
but you could very well lose it in the
Yes,
first 10 Ks.
100%.
So you need to be durable and you need to be disciplined so that work right the way through the race.
And you need to be disciplined with doing the work in the training
Yes.
and not just go, oh, and this is why you need to be like, you need time. So it's probably not the best idea to be training for one of these mountain ultras if you've got, a big project due at work in the next 3 months and you're going to be working 60 hours a week and you've also got kids. Like, you've got to be sensible.
Yeah. If you want to do it properly, you have to put in the training.
Yeah. I mean, it's time consuming because being in the mountains takes longer than running on the
Yeah.
roads. And that's why training for a flatter ultra can be good to do when you've got young kids
Yeah.
because it's not as time consuming.
And you constantly hear about these influencers, smashing out, oh, I did 100 Ks and this is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened was they fucking groveled the last
Yeah,
half of it,
that's right. Exactly.
because they didn't train for it.
Yeah. I didn't train, but I've got it done, kind of thing.
Most people could do 100 Ks with minimum training, but it would suck.
Oh my God.
It would
So
be
bad.
terrible.
So bad. I mean, they're hard enough when you've trained.
Yeah. So if you want to do it and for the most part enjoy it, but at least
Also feel like you've accomplished something properly. Groveling is not,
no.
it doesn't feel good. You don't feel proud of yourself as if, no, I really gave it my all and in a good way.
Yeah, it might make for a great YouTube video, but it doesn't make for a great experience.
No, definitely not.
So,
Yeah.
you've got to put the training in, but 9 times out of 10, you've got to be able to put the training in.
Yeah.
You've got to have
Once again, realistic
helps.
expectations.
Yes.
Don't go, I'm going to train for this and I'm going to do all this training and then go, fuck, I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
And, and then you rock up totally underprepared
Yeah.
and not ready. So realistic expectations come down to being realistic about the time you have.
And I know, when you rock up and you post on social medias, I didn't train for this, and
You're thinking,
people are thinking,
not
people are thinking,
hardcore.
that's great, that's fantastic. Oh, geez, you did really well.
No.
Most people are going, well, why didn't you fucking train for it?
I know, why enter it if you're not going to train?
Yeah, I know.
I just don't understand. I don't understand.
More people are irritated by it than are impressed.
I don't know.
Well, they should be anyway.
They should be, yes. Yeah.
We talk about this with, certain races that are known to be hard races and people signing up for them and then not training for them.
And then acting surprised that it hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. They know it's tough when they signed up for it. They knew it was tough.
Because it looks good. They like to go, I'm doing this race. But then they forget that they've got to actually do the work.
Yeah, that's right. You don't just turn up on the day and somehow magically get it done.
The magic race fairies come out and give you strength and fitness. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And ultras are painful. Like if you haven't trained properly, it's really painful and it's really demoralizing.
Mm-hmm.
It's painful, like I say, with training. Yeah. But that's also because you're pushing yourself harder because you know you're capable of more. But at least it's painful and you're finishing in a decent time. If you don't train, it's painful for way longer. Way longer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you don't rise to the level of your fitness in a mountain ultra. You fall to the level of your leg strength. Okay. And leg strength isn't just built in the gym. As much as I go on about, going to the gym, you can't go, oh, I'll just hit the gym instead of doing hill training because I don't have hills. No, you need to find a way of getting hill strong, like we talked about, okay? So if you want help structuring your training properly so that you're ready for hills, whether or not you have hills around you, contact me and work with Peak Endurance Coaching because we will get you ready. As long as we have enough time before the race, don't message me 2 weeks before the race. As long as we have time, we will get you ready.
You've had lots of experience training athletes for mountain ultras who don't live near the mountains.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yes. Exactly. Yep. And I have trained people for mountain ultras just on treadmills and Stairmasters, and they have done super well. So it can be done. It's not perfect, like I say, as in I still think you should if you can, but it can be done. Mm-hmm. So I have trained people, just treadmills and Stairmaster.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it doesn't sound like the world of fun, but they got it done and they enjoyed the race and they did really well.
Yep.
So mountain training isn't guesswork; it's coached.
Yeah.
And if you want to do well, and too often, especially when we're watching, YouTube, and even we see it at races, people just suffering their way through races, and it's such a pity
Yeah.
because they claim to have trained a lot, and it's like, what a waste it was.
Yeah.
All that time they spent away from home and family, and it was,
They were just wasting their time
yeah,
because they
like,
weren't training
yeah, they
in
weren't
the way.
training properly.
They weren't training for that race anyway.
Yeah, and you invest a lot of time and money and mental bandwidth. You might as well be doing the bloody right training.
Yeah.
Like I just don't understand it. I don't. But anyway, so yeah, let us know. Drop me a DM, comment coach already on any of my social media posts. Doesn't matter which one it is. Or email me, isabel@peakendurancecoaching.com.au, and let's chat.
Yeah.
You know?
Best thing you'll ever do.
Yes, it will be. All righty. So that was that.
That's that. Yeah, I guess we've covered everything. Next week we're going to be
Yeah, because you'll be marking the course. So when
Yeah.
you get back, we'll hopefully
yeah,
get it done. And we'll be talking about
yeah,
expectations versus
yeah.
reality.
Maybe we might have to do it on Saturday.
Yeah, we could do it
Yeah.
Saturday. I've got a massage at 2, but
Yeah.
we could do it after that.
So yeah, we'll be talking. What did you say about
Expectations.
expectations versus the reality of your
Yeah.
training?
That's right. And how to have appropriate expectations.
Yeah.
A, for your training and for your race.
Yep.
Right.
Mhm.
And not being delusional.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
And how to go about doing that. Because
Yeah.
especially if it's a race you don't know, a lot about, but you're excited to do. It's
Yeah.
easy to get a little bit delusional, but we'll help you figure out how not to be.
Yes.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe,
Like,
review. Nobody has since
comment.
Yes, nobody has
Yeah.
since we've discussed this. I
Yeah.
mean, not that I know of. I'll have to double check again. But yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
put a heap out, so
No.
so
Remember, if you see us at Two Bays, come and say hello.
yep, please do. I mean, we'll be doing a podcast before then, but yeah, come and say hello. And
and keep on training.
Keep on training. That's right.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you very much. Have a great long run this weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye.